Harara bahani madani bogara yare nguri ni ure hejio military sarara hatu military hara di tekke tebe jeti nguri bada mari kele hara military kum majede intu kum majede intu zargara di de military fatu gu fashi lomade tu fire go thaile ra samara anu tumare vele
There has been systematic gang rapes of girls, schoolgirls trapped in schools and raped by soldiers. I spoke to one aid worker who told me of a 16-year-old girl who had been raped 20 times. And also when I spoke to some of the health workers there, they were telling me how very often they saw wounds in the back of people, so they were actually being shot as they were trying to escape.
Rape is used in my country as a weapon against those who only want to live in peace, who only want to assert their basic human rights, especially in the areas of the ethnic nationalities. Rape is rife. It is used as a weapon by armed forces to intimidate the ethnic nationalities and to divide our country. This is how I see it.
Because of the genocidal state policies for the last 4 decades, Rohingya women find themselves at the bottom held and making most vulnerable and internationally invisible people in the world. Burmese military has stepped up its atrocities on Rohingya women. Aung San Suu Kyi, to whom Rohingya women looked up to end their inhuman sufferings, betrayed Rohingya women. Not only she failed to protect the Rohingya women, but also became an apologist for the brutal military.
According to the UN, almost every female Rohingya refugee in the camps in Bangladesh is either a survivor of sexual violence or a witness to multiple instances of sexual assault, rape, or gang rape. MSF said that half of the patients it has treated for rape are under 18 years old, and one was just 9 years old.
Young girls, young Rohingya girls, as young as 8 years old, were raped and still are gang raped by the Myanmar soldiers. But because of stigma, fear and shame by the girl's own family, medical care after a rape is not sought.
Here in Bangladesh, thousands of female refugees might appear to be coping with conditions in the camps. But for many survivors of sexual violence by Myanmar security forces, the depression and post-traumatic stress disorder have lasting effects. Access to therapy and treatment is lacking as more pressing issues like food and shelter take precedent. The lack of communications add to the dilemma, as efforts to get the word out to women in need is difficult.
Oh, my darling daughter, she cries. She asks me when we talk, oh mother, what shall I do now? How can I come back to you? How will you get me out of India to be with you again? Noyona Khatun says her daughter Yasmin was 13 years old when she was snatched by a man in the refugee camp and smuggled to India.
Rohingya girls are facing lots of adversities. Very often they are forced into arranged marriages, leaving them further exposed to abuse and violations.
Biano goite fuanja darmandar mati beranetam den lamunda gornetam hamun washila lain gorore la az biya gore fuago la bulina mare zaman.
Forcibly repatriating the Rohingya to Myanmar would be tantamount to sending them back to their deaths. Who will ensure their protection? The very military who kill their babies, tortured their menfolk, and who have systematically raped the women. The military who force parents to make the decision whether to go and rescue their children from burning fires or to run and flee with the ones that were still alive. We cannot once again turn a blind eye to human suffering, to people living in an apartheid state where citizenship is unattainable and where religious persecution has long been the status quo.
March of 2017, the International State Crimes Initiative worked with the Permanent People's Tribunal, and they had a hearing, and that hearing determined that the Rohingya people were indeed enduring a genocide by the hands of the Myanmar government and military.
That means there are now tens of thousands of Muslims like Arabana without access to medical help. She's in so much pain she can no longer walk. I want to be treated, she says, but I'm scared if I'm taken to hospital, the Buddhists will attack me. Across camp, we hear similar stories. There have been only 3 visits from Burmese government doctors since the aid agencies left, and no one trusts Buddhists to transfer them safely to hospital.
What's happening here isn't being dictated by the central Burmese government, but by the local Rakhine Buddhist community. It's them who are stopping these Muslim Rohingya leaving from the camps, and it's them who are stopping aid agencies bringing healthcare in. In the past, the Burmese government would have simply acted decisively and forced their will on the people. Now, they say they're powerless to act.
One of today's patients is a painfully thin 2-month-old baby boy called Mama Rohin. He's given rehydration fluids, but his needs are clearly much greater. We suffer and we die. That is our fate, his mum tells me. There are those who are calling what's happening here a slow-burning genocide, others ethnic cleansing. Whatever words you choose, this is a human tragedy. People trapped in camps, dying and denied the most basic of rights.
With genocidal intent, the Burmese government has prevented pregnant Rohingya women in Rakhine State from having obstetric care for decades. With the recent man-made humanitarian disaster, where there is a mass exodus of Rohingya reaching 700,000, at least 70,000 are pregnant Rohingya women and nursing mothers, without a place to call their home. Many deliveries happen on the run, in the open air, in the paddy fields, in an undignified and inhuman way. What would you do if you were a Rohingya woman? Please show that you dare to care and stand in solidarity with the Rohingya women.
Women and children are the most vulnerable here, and they've repeatedly told us of being terrorized by the Myanmar military.
Ultimately, our aim should be to create a world free from the displaced, the homeless, and the hopeless. A world of which each and every corner is a true sanctuary where the inhabitants will have the freedom and the capacity to live in peace.